Should be recording right now. All right, so that was unfortunate. All right, so I made a earlier Fundrise video, but apparently the sound wasn't on, so I was just talking to nothing. So sound should be on this time. So let's give it another shot. Man, that's aggravating. All right, so this is Millennials Lead the Way. On this channel, I talk about 4 things that I focus on primarily, which is remaining debt free, getting your emergency fund, increasing your income, and increasing your savings rate. These are the 4 things I practice on a daily basis, I could say. And minus the debt free part, right? I've been debt free for like 5 years. If you're not debt free, you're missing out, man. And it's gonna be a lot of struggle for you, right? Until you realize that there is no such thing as good debt. There's only bad debt. But what do I know, right? Either way, I do these Fundrise updates every 3 months or so. I come back and I give you guys my thoughts. I show you guys how my account's doing, and I may or may not give you a little bit of spice at the end, right? So we'll see what happens. I already messed up one of these videos, and I'm kind of over it. So who knows? This may be quick, but right now I'm sitting at 347. Net returns to date is about 67,000. Premium account level, and then I'm on the balance plus plan. Looking at just this year, right, in 2022, we made about $3,800 in dividends, made about 12 grand in appreciation, and then 0 advisory fees, putting us, a little over 16,000 for the year. When we transition over to all time, right, we're at 20,000 for dividends, 46, we say 47, right, 47,000 for appreciation, and then putting us at 215 for advisory fees. So like these advisory fees, they no longer do this right anymore, which makes sense, right? Because when you have people that actually are serious about financial independence, this starts to look, troubling. So, but what they do now is the invitation program, right? I think I had one of y'all sign up with my link so far with this. And basically what this does is, I don't know if this was new when I did my last update. I think it is. But depending on your account level, right, which mine is a premium, depends on how much you get for the sign-on bonus. So seeing I'm the premium account level, you'll get the maximum amount they offer, which is $100. So one of y'all, whoever it is, got $100 when you use my link. Another big thing in the news feed, they're still purchasing these rental homes, these townhome communities, which is kind of strange, man. Like, it don't matter where I go, you start to see these communities popping up everywhere. Some people don't like them. Some people, it's like whatever. At the end of the day, bro, we all need a place to stay, and it's pretty obvious that there's a shortage in housing, right? So it is what it is, right? And these are for rent, right? Hence the rental townhome community. And I'll talk about that later on, right at the end. I think this will be the spice that I'm going to talk about. But as far as the other updates, another merger, right? So, we talked about this happening. It's only natural, right, that these e-REITs start to merge. So I think it's a couple of the growth e-REITs that are going to start merging with each other. We're probably going to see maybe 1 or 2 more of these, right? And then that'll probably end these mergers. What else? Let's go over the transactions. Nothing big, man, for transactions. The last big movement that happened was the merger for the income real estate fund. We got our quarterly dividends, and then, which actually we didn't even get paid the latest dividends yet. I think maybe that's what I was waiting for. Usually I do it like on the first, but I think I was waiting for the dividends to get paid out. But whatever. Um, but yeah, man, I've just been doing the auto invest, man. You know, $1,000 every 2 weeks, and yeah, that's about it, bro. Nothing special, nothing crazy. Right? But we'll go over to performance. All right, let's look at how we did for the second quarter. Did about 1%, right? Now, usually this would be the time where I get on some of y'all about getting bent out of shape about the returns, but you know, as we can see, some of y'all can't even make this in the stock market right now. Right? None of you watching have made a 1% return. Right? Shout out to the crypto heroes. Um, you know, what's those terms y'all crypto people like to say? A hedge, um, decentralization. I've asked y'all to give me your definition on what that meant, right? Because I'm pretty sure my definition of that and yours are two different things. Another word people would say is, it's how I diversify. Okay, so you know it is what it is, right? Some of us make money, most of us lose it. But looking at our top performers for this quarter, it's the East Coast E-REIT. So to give you guys an example of why you should focus more on your savings rate than your returns, is because, like I always say on every single video when we get to this part, whatever percent of nothing is still nothing, right? You can times zero by anything, you know, still be zero, right? So if you have chump change in your account, right? And when I say chump change, I'm not saying this in a manner in which you quit, or I'm not saying this to like berate you or something. I'm saying chump change because what you have isn't enough to amount to anything. What I have is not enough to amount to anything. Right? I told you guys, until I hit $1 million in this account, it doesn't matter. Right? And I'm not a YouTuber that's gonna sit here and give you high hopes, right? I don't have a course I gotta sell you. I don't care if you hit the like button or subscribe button. I don't care. So I have no interest in lying to you about this stuff. So $1 million is the cutoff point. Because in doing basic math, right, 4% of $1 million is what? Go ahead, punch it in on your calculator, right? So maybe to me, right, that's the first number where I started to look at investment seriously. Maybe y'all are happy about the 10 cent you get in your account. Some of y'all are getting $20 in dividends before taxes, before you pay interest to a bank, before these gas prices, right? Y'all are getting happy. But to me, it's chump change. So to give you an example of this, my highest performing E-REIT, right, cannot outdo the flagship real estate fund when we're looking at a cash value, right? So 1% this quarter, which is a huge difference, right, from the last one. I don't know what's been going on in this one, but 1% versus 8%. Right? Just pay attention to that dollar amount. Right? $1,400 versus $2,000. I'm gonna show you guys again. 1% of something will always be more than 8% of nothing. Not to say that I have nothing in the East Coast, because I got a little something in the East Coast, right? I got like 12 grand in there. I got something in there, right? I got something in there. I'm not going to say I got nothing in there. I got something in there. But even if you got 8%, which is a reasonable return, like it's a more than reasonable, you guys can't make 1% in the stock market right now. So for them to get 8% during these times is incredible, right? So to get 8%, it won't mean anything if you don't have anything in the account, right? So why did I get $2,000 for the flagship fund? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because I have something in the freaking account. So to reiterate what I previously said, this is not for you to quit. I understand there's a lot of quitters popping up on the internet. In your personal life, you're surrounded by quitters. But by no means am I trying to convince you to quit. I just want to let you know that you're going to have to put in the work for these investments to mean something. Right? That's all I'm trying to stress here. I'm not saying Fundrise is a bad company. Right? It's not reasonable to say, oh, well, if Fundrise can't get me an 18,000% return, then I'll just stick to Bitcoin. Okay, that's fine too. But for everybody else that actually contributes to society and you make good money because of it, we're more focused on Fundrise protecting our principal than going out and chasing sketchy ass investments like crypto and losing everything. Right? I'm more concerned with Fundrise protecting this than I am with them trying to triple it. Because I'm a triple it based on hard work, right? Based on my active income, I'm a triple it. So, but if they can get me something good, which is 5%, bro, like yeah, I'm completely fine with that, bro. 5%, 5% of something. Oh, what do you know? It's something, right? So, I gotta mention this part in every video, man. One, for the new people coming around, and two, to kind of keep most of y'all tethered to reality. So I don't think there's a lot of wannabe professionals popping up on the internet nowadays, because it's a coincidence that, you know, when everything in the market is going down, the confidence goes down. So we don't have all these confident Warren Buffetts on the internet telling you how to invest. So that's something you guys should be paying attention to, right? It's easy to sound like a professional when literally everything in the market is going up, right? So, just saying. But looking at this chart right here, right? This chart's getting pretty spaced out so far. I don't have a set amount that I want to put in this account for the year. Right now, I'm just sticking to, you know, throwing money in every single month and going from there, man. I'm thinking about putting a lump sum contribution in here, but we'll see, man. Every quarter, I usually sit down and I reassess, you know, my situation, you know, and that basically involves me, you know, just laying out what I'm doing in life, where I'm trying to go, how much money I'm making, how much I can flex, and I don't know, man. I don't feel like I have a strong need for cash right now, and a little part of me wants to just throw it all in here, man. So I'm not that worried about not being able to get my money back, because, like I said before, the amount of properties that they're purchasing. I mean, dude, if I were to see the amount of cash flow Fundrise is getting, they could easily pay this back to me easily, right? So I'm not worried about being able to get my cash out, but we'll see, man. We'll see. Um, and by dollar cost averaging, which I think my definition of dollar cost averaging is different from everybody else's. Me putting money in every single month is not dollar cost averaging, right? Um, it's called something else. I forgot the name of it, but that's not dollar cost averaging. Dollar cost averaging is having a lump sum of cash, and then from that lump sum of cash, you put it into whatever investment you're doing, right? The same amount, right, at the same time every month. So, for example, this 145,000 right here. This was lump sum. This was a lump sum. This was not dollar cost averaged in. Reason being is because if I were to dollar cost average this in, this amount would ultimately be lower. Because by putting all this in at once, this gave the whole 145,000 time to work rather than just sprinkling it in, here and there. I think the whole dollar cost averaging is stupid. Um, and like I said, man, like I'm not dollar cost averaging. I'm just when I get it, it's getting invested. I'm not hanging on to it. I'm not gonna sprinkle it in, right? Um, Boom, all of it's going. So this is more of a I gotta find a term for it. It's not called dollar cost averaging though. It's called like strategic something. But this is money that when I get paid, I just throw it in. Right? I'm not hanging on to it. And from the $1,000, I'm like putting chump change in every single month. Like this money goes in when I get it. So, but yeah, I think I showed you guys what I made there so far. Um, Another thing that I found interesting, man, is when I saw this number, 279,000, it made me think, man, the Army has paid me probably double that amount, maybe, I don't know. But this is the amount that I managed to hang on to, right? That when I look at these numbers, this is how I this is how I view things. It's like, okay, out of all the money I was paid, this is the amount I was able to hang on to. Everything else went to, you know, some stripper here, alcohol here, fast cars here, whatever, right? And this is whatever I was able to hang on to. So I think that's interesting, man. Right? I think by the end of this year, I want to have it at 300,000. So we'll see, man. We'll see. I want to have this at 300, and I want to make at least 100,000 this year. So that shit out of here. Where'd I go? Let's go to portfolio real quick. So I think I got 14 positions now. Once this merger's done, I should have 12. So, and like I said, man, I think just some of the growth e-REITs are just starting to consolidate at this point. But it's interesting, man, seeing these rental properties, which I'll still talk about at the end. But let's go to the flagship fund. Yeah, man, this is like this fund's crazy, bro. Um, I don't know, man. Like I have high hopes for this one. Like I have high hopes. So we'll see how it turns out, man. We'll see how it pans out. I am glad I got the like half of my money in here though, right? Because it's easily accessible. Not that I'm trying to access it, but you know, I don't know, man. One thing I did notice with the fund though is the distribution rate has increased. So it's at 1%. It was at 0.75, but now it's at 1. So we'll see where that goes. Like I said, I'm not too bent out of shape about income because unless I have $1 million in here, doesn't really matter. I have noticed the distribution rate in this one decreased. So the uh, the net asset value increased, and then the distribution rate also decreased. So shout out to the income or supplemental income heroes. Fundrise, eFund. Man, this one. Sometimes I question this one, man. I mean, I get it. It's a long term. It's a long term play, but um, I want to look into the paperwork again, man, just to see what exactly they plan on doing with all these, right? Like, I'm just a little. I don't know. I just want to know. I don't know. Maybe I would hope for the CEO to do like a special podcast just for this fund right here. I think that would be a good. I think the next one that would be a good talking point. Hey, what are we doing with this, right? Because again, I get it. It's long term, but I'm just a little confused on what we're doing with it. I know they said they were doing a partnership with Saltbox, but yeah, I'm just trying to see how that's gonna pan out. But I'm sure I'm not alone when I say that either. But I think this video has been going on for like 2 decades now, so we're gonna wrap it up. We'll go to the gold chart. I'm gonna show you guys the income that's been fluctuating hella in this account, bro. I'm talking about, man, this thing like like back in January, bro. I was actually getting something pretty tasty, and then March and then April, I was like, so it got a little spicy here in April and stuff, and it's been going up now. I think it just decreased again, but I want to keep showing you guys this chart, right, just to see how the income fluctuates with this account. So we'll see what happens. Nowhere near what they um, thought it was going to be. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading this wrong, but definitely not getting 1,800 a month. I don't think I'm getting this for the quarter. I think I was getting like 1,700. Oh no, we'll see here in a bit. But yeah, man, that is what it is, bro. It is what it is. Got a calculator. Yeah, so this is it. Like I told you guys in my last video, I don't focus that far out, man. Like, 10 years is the cap that I focus out because, we've seen how much that can change in fucking 3 months, bro. So it's not reasonable for me to look this far out. Right? There's too much, bro. There's too much that can change. So 10 years is reasonable for me. Plus, it's around the time that I'll be getting done with the military. So, yeah, that's it. So thing with this money is, I've been hearing this term about generational wealth, and I think that whole generational wealth term is bullshit, and it's another thing that gets echoed throughout the internet, right? As if it means something. And I do plan on having children, but that doesn't mean I'm required to give them what I worked hard for, right? From the time I'm alive, right, they will benefit from it. But after that, man, I mean, it's on them to build their own, right? If they choose not to be a benefit to society, then they're gonna be like the rest of these Looney Tunes that's running around out here talking about some 18 different genders, uh, man, the nonsense that's popping up, man. This world's gonna be crazy, and if they decide to buy into that, they're gonna end up wherever they end up. My money won't support it, right? Good or bad. This money will be for me, right? And if something's left, you can get a portion of it. I'm probably gonna donate the rest of it to a cause I like. But for some of y'all that think you're gonna pass down that quote unquote asset you call a house, something you need to understand and remember is you don't want you don't own the house, right? That's one. You don't own the house. Two, 30 years from now, you probably still won't own the house. If you were to pass away at any time during that moment, there's a high chance your spouse, if you're still married and now in child support, uh, they're just gonna sell it, right? Because if you think they're gonna be satisfied with the $200 of cash flow, bro, that you get from this home, you're high, right? Because their bills are probably gonna be $5 grand a month. So they're gonna take one look at this duplex you've been slaving over your entire life, and they're gonna say, "Hey, we can collect $200 from two sketchy ass tenants, or we can sell this thing for 400,000, pay the bank back 300,000, and then split the rest between our three siblings because we're poor, and we'd rather have cash in our checking account to go blow it on whatever type of nonsense that's happening 30 years from now." So, once again, bro, this is the future. We will be a renter society. Um, you just don't believe it, and that's fine. But there are communities that are already set up like this, and there are studies currently being done. For example, there's something called the Village in Florida. You should look it up. It's literally where a bunch of old people live. The majority of them rent, and I would think that's what society would look like if we could get it to a point where everybody's a renter, but it's affordable at the same time, right? So it's gonna take a while to get there. It's gonna take a while, but I think you, quote unquote, owning this home would be more of a hindrance to you than it would be a blessing. And again, you're dealing with people that are already barely trying to keep up as it is. So, just my opinion. You guys can do with it as you see fit. You always will be. So, I think that's all I had, man, for this update, though, man. Again, man, stay motivated, right? It never fails for these news channels to continue to show, um, depressing things, but it can always be worse, right? I can tell you right now, if you've never left the country, then you have zero idea on what the rest of the world is dealing with. So before you complain, right? Before you start crying about your job, crying about how much you get paid, before you say, "I'm tired, I deserve to be happy in life," just understand there's people in the world that don't have clean water, right? As in, they can't find clean water to save their lives. And when they do, it's probably some sketchy ass pond that will most likely kill them. So, you know, I get it. Some of y'all don't give a shit. You know, some of you debt slaves don't care, but for the people that do care, right, just don't complain, right? Be an American, give 100%, go to work, do your best, save your money, get out of debt, and at some point, man, we will enjoy the good times, right? And then we're just gonna watch the sheeple start eating each other and whatever other type of Looney Tune things that we're gonna watch take place. But again, right, stay motivated. Worst case scenario, turn the freaking TV off if it's too much to handle. Right? Get off of YouTube. If you ain't got this much money, why are you hanging out on YouTube, bro? There's no YouTuber, I promise you. And I've watched my fair share of YouTubers, even the ones that sell these sketchy ass courses, none of which will help you. Right? It's pretty simple to build wealth. Don't make it hard. Get out of debt, get your emergency fund, increase your income, increase your savings rate. You'll be okay. I promise. Alright, so that's all I got. I hope this freaking audio works because if it doesn't, I'm not making another Fundrise video. Alright, so millennials lead the way.